Hello, I'm Rick Streaker, Packard's National Training Coordinator. In this segment of the Packard Academy, we're going to talk about airflow. Airflow in the heating and air conditioning system, and the devices that are typically used in the normal heating and air conditioning applications. Specifically, those devices that we're going to be talking about are the axial fan and the centrifugal fan. Now, those may be new terms for you. The axial fan typically is just referred to as a fan, as in a condenser fan. The centrifugal fan usually is just called the blower. So we'll stick with those terms, the fan and the blower. In the application, we'll first talk about the air conditioning cycle. In the air conditioning cycle, the refrigerant goes through the evaporator coil. It absorbs heat, removes that heat from the living area, continues to move the refrigerant through the system to the condenser, and at the condenser, the heat is removed into an area where that heat is unobjectionable. And then that cycle continues. The blower is used to help make that process more efficient. The blower in the evaporator section brings air through the return ducts, past the filter, and into the inlet of the blower. That air is pressurized in the blower and then is distributed through the outlet of the blower. Now, the reason the blower is used rather than a fan is because that blower can overcome more static pressure than what the fan blade can. The static pressure is just that, it's static. That is the amount of pressure on the system without movement of the air. So the blower brings the air in to the inlet, and a key difference between the blower and the axial fan is that on the blower, the air fills the inlet area through centrifugal force, is pressurized and thrown off into the housing and removed, but it comes in and goes out at a right angle. Whereas the axial fan is a linear movement. The air passes straight through. So a key characteristic of the blower is that that air comes in and moves out at a right angle. During the heat cycle, and this would include a heat pump, the blower brings air in, again, as it does on the cooling cycle. However, the air is then blown over the heat exchanger, or in the case of a heat pump, through the coil and moves that hot air through the house. Again, heat transfer is the key with the products. One additional blower that is critical in the heating cycle is the draft inducer blower. A little bit different than the distribution blower, much smaller, but the draft inducer blower is critical for proper combustion in the furnace and also for the removal of harmful byproducts of combustion. Those consist of primarily carbon monoxide. So with the draft inducer, they are designed very specifically for individual furnaces and need to be replaced with a duplicate design in order to have proper combustion and proper removal of carbon monoxide so that there are no hazardous situations that occur in the living area. We'll move from the evaporator section to the condenser section. With the condenser, instead of a blower, there's not as much static pressure, so we do use a fan blade on the condenser section. The fan helps to remove more efficiently the heat that's been absorbed into the refrigerant. So the fan will blow through the condenser coil, removing heat to the outdoors where it's unobjectionable. One of the key characteristics of the fan or the blades that are on the fan, the pitch that is assigned with the fan. But what it's important for the operation of the fan is to have an orifice that helps to direct the air movement through that fan to give it higher velocity, also to provide direction for that so that the air isn't moving off of the sides of the blades instead of going to the location where we want that to go. These devices can be operated with direct drive motors. They can also be operated with belt drive applications. In summary, airflow is a critical component of heating and air conditioning. Where there is higher static pressure, a blower may be used. Where the static pressure isn't as high, a fan blade is typically used. For proper performance of the blower, a housing is required, and for proper performance of a fan blade, an orifice is used. Draft inducers are critical components in furnaces. It not only provides a clean burn, but also removes the gases that may be hazardous to our health. Thank you for participating in the Packard Academy. All of our training videos are available through our website or our YouTube site. Thanks.